for my vertical shift, and that's located right here. I take the sign to the left with it. It's positive. That means that this graph moves up 5. All right. Now, this number affects the range. So this number affects the amplitude, and I'm going to show you how. My initial range, and this is the biggest part of all this that we're doing today, my initial range would have been 2 and -2. However, it is affected by this 5. I have to apply it to both of these, all right, by just addition. So in order to get my new range, plus 5, plus 5. Therefore, this is 7, and this is 3. And this 7 is my high, 3 is my low. This is the hardest part of this. So again, your range begins with 2 and -2 per last slide. And then it gets adjusted by whatever the vertical shift is. All right? And so those new numbers, you apply it to the same way. You do not change the sign of this. You always do +5, +5, whatever this number is, you do keep it the same. All right? And last thing, we can now see our middle. Our middle is whatever our vertical shift is. Every time. So high, low, middle, that's how we get the middle. Whatever our vertical shift is the middle. If we do not have a vertical shift, then that number is assumed to be 0. They want to write that down for future reference. If there is no vertical shift, the middle is 0. Again, I say, if there is no vertical shift, the middle is 0. All right. And so we may have time to get to this one before we have to leave for lunch. And lunch should be back at 11:28. All right. So the shift here is down 12 because as you can see, it's over here. You take the negative sign with it. All right. And I'm going to kind of fast forward this one because we have worked with fractions too many times for me to have to go through this whole problem. However, the range begins with 1/2. And -1/2. All right. But it gets adjusted by this -12 or this -12. So I then say -12 here, -12 here. All right. I'm going to just tell you that the fraction that we change to use in this equation, because we've got to make sure we have a fraction for both cases, is going to be 24/2 because I had 12/1 and I multiplied the top and bottom by 2. So I applied 24/2 to both of these 12. All right. When doing that, I come out with the following answers. So this one is -23/2, and this is -25/2. All right. If ever you are confused which one is the high, middle, and the low, just know that the positive one is always the high, the negative one is always the low, and again, the vertical shift that we just made was the middle. So let me go ahead and denote those things. So this is my high, because it started out with the positive version. This is my low, because it began with the negative version. And the vertical shift is always my middle.
Mr. Character?
Yes.
Can you explain how you got the 24/2 and then -23/2? Because I'm confused.
All right, cool. So remember when we had to do like those 2-pi things with the radians?
Yes.
This is actually saying 1/2 -12 over that assumed to be 1 that's on the bottom of it, right? Because 12/1 makes a fraction. You agree?
Yes.
All right. So in order to get the denominators to match, I have to multiply the top and bottom by 2.
Okay.
Times 2 times 2. So what happens when I multiply 12 times 2?
You get 24. Negative.
And what happens when I get 2 times 1?
2.
2. So that makes it 24/2. So 1 minus 24 gave me the 23.
Okay.
And then -1 minus another 24, give me 25. That's cool?
Yes, got it.
All right, cool. Thank you, because somebody else might have had that question. They want to say that. Thank you for speaking up.
You're welcome.
All right, so if we're good there, let's move on to the actual how to do a problem. I think the bell's not ring though for like the lunch. So I'm gonna pause 1 second. Screenshots, take your pictures, write it down. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna do this problem. And hopefully the bell don't ring while I'm doing it. So this is how I do this problem. I'm doing in steps. Step 1, I'm gonna draw this shape. I'm making the first 2 steps down for the bell ring. Step 1, draw this shape. Because all we're doing right now is rough sketches of the graph. All right, we're gonna do a rough sketch of the graph. And then step 2, label it from 0 to 2 pi. So step 1, draw that shape. That's 0 right there. Pi halves, pi, 3 pi halves, 2 pi. Alright? That's step 1. So making this little chart is step 1. Step 2 is going to be to discuss what happens in this problem. So, amplitude, we should know is 2. Alright? That should then tell me that my range, because that's next, so after amplitude we do range, that my initial high is 2, and my low is -2. I'm going to pause right there. Anybody lost on what I just did? Before I continue on. So just like the beginning of the problem, we're going to ignore this part for right now. Take my graph. Just to talk this over again, first thing, I'm going to draw this shape every time because I'm doing a rough sketch. Alright? Second thing, I got to figure out what my amplitude is. We know it's here. We know my amplitude is here. So amplitude is 2, given this number. Alright, given this number, and then from amplitude we go to range. Range means take this number, make it a positive case, and make it a negative case pretty much. So that's my initial high and my initial low. However, I now have a vertical shift. That vertical shift affects my amplitude. So I apply my vertical shift to both cases of the amplitude, the high and the low. So I do +6 here, +6 here. Alright? Now, that is where we left off. Alright, we left off at that point. So here's what we do now. This number here is my high. This number here is my low. And this number is my middle. Alright? Now, I'm now going to ask the following question. Well, actually, I'm not going to ask the following question. I'm going to now put these numbers on this little rough graph. So I put the 8 up here. Put the 4 down here. Because again, I'm just making a sketch. And I put the 6 right here in the middle. Alright? And now I'm then, at the end of this all, I'm going to ask myself, hey, how does cosine flow? Should I figure out from the first line, cosine goes high, middle, low, middle, high. So that's just what I'm going to do, start at 0. I'm going to say high, middle, low, middle, high. And I'm just connect my dots. Hopefully yours look a lot better than mine. I'm drawing with a mouse. So that'll be my rough sketch of this equation. Alright? If you have any question on how did I, where did I, because I know we were broken up in time, please ask. so we can get everything clear. Any questions in here? Y'all good on that? Because y'all about to go to the next one. So any questions on why or how? If anybody got any questions on why or how, speak up for yourself, please. Alright, so I'm going to do the last example. So I'm going to do, I guess I'll give you, so I'm going to leave this up after I get done. So if you want to screenshot it or whatever, it'll be back up in a second. Both cases will be up simultaneously, so I'm going to go ahead and move to the second problem. Alright, but again, I'll be putting this back up. Alright. So, y'all are going to walk me through this one. Alright, so since we have no issues or questions last time, somebody tell me what my first step is. Anybody? Nope. What you say? Nope. What's my first step? Anybody? Make my graph. First step is make my graph. Alright, y'all at home can play too. This is a whole two-sided game. I'm going to undo it because I do it in the wrong section, or I do it too far away. Alright, pow, ping, bada bop boom, pow. Alright, what goes on my x-axis? 0, pi halves, pi, 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi. Alright? Alright, now that we've got that set up, somebody from home, because this is a surround sound game. What do I do next? Somebody at home speak up.
You figure out your range.
Before the range, what I need to figure out?
Amplitude.
Amplitude. Where's my amplitude?
Right there.
Right where?
The 3.
The 3. The 3 is my amplitude. Yes, ma'am. Alright, so amplitude is 3. That's the next step. Alright? From here, I then do my what from the amplitude? Eva Marie?
That's when you do your range.
That's when I do my range. How do I initially set up my range?
3 and -3.
3 and -3, exactly right. Alright? Alright, somebody else. Do I have a vertical shift, and if so, how does it affect this? Somebody else.
It's gonna go down.
It's gonna go down too, but how does that affect this 3 and -3? Mathematically, what do we do?
Oh, subtract 2.
Subtract. So I'm gonna do -2 here. I'm gonna do -2 here because that's the number that's here. Alright? So I know we know how to subtract. At least I hope. That's 1. And that's -5. Alright? Somebody other than the ones who've been speaking online or in class at the moment, what is my middle? My middle is -2. Thank you. This is my middle. Alright? So my high is what?
1.
1. And my low is?
-5.
-5. Cool. Alright? So at this point, I just put these numbers where they should go. 1 go up here. -5 go down here. And -2 goes right here. And from that point, how does sine go? Anybody?
Middle, high, middle, low, middle.
Middle, high. Middle, low, middle. Alright, so I'm going to start right here, 0, and go middle. High, middle, low, middle, and I'm done. Hopefully, again, your picture looks better than my picture.